Welcome back to my current playthrough of Devil May Cry 2 on the Lucia half. Previous part, we walked all the way to the oil foundry, where we got, from Lucia's perspective, the revelation that she was an artificially created demon made by Arius, which she threw away, and she was adopted by Matiere in order to be a warrior for the Vida Mali. And she got teleported by Arius very conveniently to the underground ruin, at least in a different part of it, where she gets the Chalice Magdalia. And we're like close to the third act if we aren't there already. So yeah, we should be almost done with the game by this point, I assume. And it was a very, very, very awkward underwater section, to say the least. Okay, mission 9. To prove its own identity, the Protector points a blade toward the decayed king. Guidepost for the Protectors, Chapter 10, Clause 5. Not sure if I want to use it on Cutlass here.
For a defect, you show promise. But did you really think you could deceive me? Have you come back to me, Kai?
I'm Lucia.
Would have liked to have played going through here.
Don't call me Kai.
Then why did you come here? Let me guess. You seek my death.
Die!
I love how he smokes and drinks champagne as I'm beating his ass. And the targeting blows. He's like, got my devil trigger back easily. And he summons a goatling.
You lose, Kai.
What do you mean? I beat your ass. Okay.
Kill me!
That man is going to bring me the Arcana shortly. You will live to see that.
That's just a piece of crap.
Oh, Arcana.
Here's another 3 for you.
Well, 2 actually.
Crap like that doesn't interest me. But your swan song will.
You cannot win. Someone is holding you back.
Forget about me. Kill Arius.
Don't worry. I've got you.
And that's it for that level. Hey, so now we gotta go hit the orbs and get...
Why did you save me? I was created by him.
Every hero has a weakness.
But the ritual was activated because of me.
There's still time.
We have until the sun is completely eclipsed. But how are you going to enter the building? The entrance is...
Where there's a will, right?
And now we gotta do this level again.
Mother,
Yes, it is true that we are not tied by blood. But our ties are bound by history and experience, which is much deeper than blood. Now go. Everything I know, I have passed on to you. You are my daughter.
thank you, Mother.
So yeah, Devil May Cry 2 is really Lucia's story when you think about it. It's just a shame that we don't get enough of it. I mean, I like Dante being in the game in tandem, I really do. He's the face of the franchise. It's just a shame that he barely has much to do in it, other than speak a couple of lines and clean up the demonic mess. Really, it's Lucia who has the more of the character specific stuff going on. And oh, Arius, what a disappointment of a villain. I mean, yeah, he's no less he's pretty much he's generic, but yeah, they could have done something more with him. I mean, as generic as Arkham and Sanctus were, at the very least they had a point to their to themselves as a boss, and in terms of the storyline. You know, Arkham, the point for him was how humans can be just as evil as any devil. And Sanctus is like, despite being human, lacks what Sparta, a demon, had, a heart that could love their fellow man. So they really could have expanded on Arius a lot more. I mean, the man's a freaking corporate giant fooling around with powers he should not be fooling with. And the fact that he creates freaking demons in labs is something that they could have really expanded on. Like, you see what I mean? There's so much untapped potential with Devil May Cry 2 that it is sad that they didn't do enough. 4 lights will open the sealed door, but will also invite the... I did not read it.
Why did you save me?
Okay, as I was saying, 4 lights will open the sealed door, but will also invite the creepy to play. Who says creepy like that in a old post like this? Chapter 11, clause 7. 7-11. Okay, we gotta do this again. Nothing in here. Nothing in there. How is, Amulet? Aerial Heart. Case of any floating orbs. Oh, what'd you know? One's right there. Moving to the demon world, slowly intensifying. Release 3 more in order to reach the demon world. And then we gotta fight Trismagia again, and you all know how much I love him. Joke, I don't. I really don't. I gotta admit, I do like trouncing them out of the air. That's fun. Ah, couldn't get all of them. And of course another one spawns for no reason. Two out of four. The mirrors fire like the best attack element in the whole game. More health. That makes me happy. Okay, I don't see any secret weapons or orbs. No secret weapons, no orbs, no power orbs, no nothing. Well, there's one. Ah, we found a weapon. Zambak. Swords for Lucia that have high strength and power. Okay, let's try them out. Wide range, high striking power. Let's give them a look-see. I don't think I ever used them much. Very wide blades, very big ones, not as elegant looking as the Cutlassier, which I personally prefer, at least aesthetically. A little late in the game to get them though, but eh. Well, at least it's easier to get them as Lucia. Still hate trudging through the whole thing, though. We gotta fight Phantom again, no doubt. And I was right. Yeah. That did it. Save data just in case. They swarm like clouds and desperately seek the Protector's blood. Chapter 11, Clause 9. So we gotta do this again. Level this up. Eh. Mostly health items. I don't know what I did, but looks cool, whatever it was. I think that satisfied its bloodthirst. And someone's calling me. Hello? Yes. Mm-hmm. And... Yes, yes. I suppose that'll work. Okay. I'll worry about that. Thank you. Do I season them with anything, or is that it? Or as is? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. I know what you're talking about. I'm in the middle of streaming, so I'll do it when I'm done. Love you. Good luck. Mom. Okay. What were we doing? Oh yeah, we were going through this crap again. Okay. The Protector scales the skyscraper, believing in its own reason for existence. Chapter 12, Clause 3. I'm not gonna waste it on that one sword over there. In here again. Let me guess, we gotta go get the sacrificial thingamajig. Again. Nothing up here. Nothing up here. Great. Elevator ride again, I presume. Yup. Okay, apparently we're not doing the orb collection again. I guess because Dante did it. And as such, they are like, okay, let's not waste time with Lucia doing it. Yay! Got stylish as Lucia, finally. En Vogue trophy. Yep, she is French. And the trophy reflects that. Oh wait, we are doing the sacrificial thingamajig. Ugh. Fine, I retract that statement. At least I got the S rank. I'm happy about that, at least. Sacrilege of the evil statue. What is even causing that shaking anyway? Kicks him into the wall. I do find that amusing. I do like that. Kicking them into the wall, and they go splat. Okay, apparently I was already here. Oh, come on, really? Teleportation bubbles. Of all things. Well, this is mortifying to look at. Come on! I really wish I would stop targeting the monkeys. No, I don't want to target the monkeys. This is stupid. The targeting sucks. Spending too long in an area that I don't wish to be in. Target the golem, you piece of shit. Target him. Oh my god. I don't want to target the monkey. I want the golem, you piece of shit game. Thank you. Fuck. Oh, that was bullshit. Awful, awful targeting. Not only is the combat too easy, it's imprecise. As fuck. You'd think Ninja Theory made it. Ugh. Can I get out of here yet? I hate this damn level. Hate this level. Fuck you. Piece of shit. I did not want to go out there, you silly game. The fact that the game has an auto-enter system for the doors is honestly more annoying than it looks. I much prefer pressing the button to go through doors than having the game do it automatically. Because then something like this happens. Okay, I frankly have no idea where I'm going in relation to the game. Well, I think I'll upgrade my throwing daggers. Give them more oomph. Especially with what's supposed to come next. A boss that I frankly do not like very much. Frankly, it's one of the worst in the whole game anyway. Two of the worst in the whole game. Actually, three if you count the fish. Now what? All right. Melkid the four-faced beast with -1 face. I love how
You
he...
fool. Everyone is destined to die.
I love how he has no flattering words other than "you're gonna die," whereas he does for Dante. Ugh. Ow. I don't know how to avoid that. Kablooey. To hell with that rubbish. What is it with hell in the Devil May Cry games looking like the insides of somebody? Seriously. I much prefer fire and brimstone hell, thank you very much. Not this shit. Oh, great. More. There's always more. Alright, this is gonna activate the ritual. Dante's gonna shoot him. I love how he doesn't notice the one color that's off from the other ones. What an idiot. Like, you'd think that would be a visual cue to let him know, hey, maybe that item's not right. I think we're close to the end at this point. Because it's Dante who kills Arius. Then he goes on to defeat Argosax in the demon world. And Lucia's out here. Yup.
You defeated Arius.
Doesn't even show it. Then again,
There's just one thing left.
Then again, they assume that we played as Dante to know it.
Kill me. Kill me and everything will be over. I thought I was a descendant of the clan that protects Vida Marley. The ones who have the blood of the devils. But the truth is, I was created by Arius. I could become a monster and attack the humans at any time. Now, kill me. It's your job to hunt devils.
Hell no, not a pretty face like yours. And the portal opens anyway.
What? The ritual was incomplete. But the door to the demon world is... Wait. What are you doing?
My job is hunting devils.
Once you enter the demon world, you may never be able to return. I'll go. I'm expendable. You don't need to worry about me. I'm happy if I can die like a human.
No. Devils never cry.
But...
Let's leave it to fate. Heads, I go. Tails, you go. See you around.
Don't you want to hear the story about Sparta from Mathieu?
I know. He did the same thing. Hold on to my coin, Lucia.
There he goes.
Dante. Arius?
Yup. Sporting quite the...
Seems I have to finish him off myself.
Yup. He's sporting quite the Dr. Octopus look now, isn't he? Demonic Dr. Octopus. The path to forgiveness is cleaned with blood. Chapter 13, Clause 1. Do I want anything? Cutlass here. Bye. Mission start. Final boss of the game. Aerial heart is equipped. I think I'll go back to Cutlass here. her theme weapon, just like I did with Dante. Ow. Possessed Arius. Yeah. Ow.
You are not human. You are just a monster. A monster that I created.
Dante told me. Devils never cry.
You go, girl. Argo Sax Arius. Okay, that was cool. I admit. Okay. He looks cool, I admit. Okay, this is a cheap shot. Bye-bye, Arius. We hardly knew ye.
You must not worry, my dear. I am sure that he will return. Everything is just as it was with Sparta.
Oh my.
What is it, my dear?
Both sides are heads.
Heads, I go. Tails, you go.
It tricked me. That macho.
Cute. Yep, Sparta sealed away Argosax, and he got trapped in hell. And he found his way back eventually. Yeah, there is another cutscene after this. But I'll get some of my thoughts out of the way in the meantime. Devil May Cry 2. Oh man, what is there to say about it? It's a playable disappointment. It really is. After the successful and awesome first go of the first game, you gotta wonder, how could anything have gone wrong for a sequel? Well, I do admit, despite everything, I do have an appreciation for Devil May Cry 2. And that it did lay the groundwork for how the games would go down the line. A shame that we never got as many as I would have liked. The gunplay is honestly the best thing about Dante and his gameplay, because of how good it feels and how tight it is. And the way he uses his guns in the air, and as well as the whole dodging mechanic with the circle, it's basically the groundwork for the style system. And then we have Lucia, who's the second playable character, which, you know, you could say is the prototype for playing as Virgil, and eventually Nero in Devil May Cry 4, with how that game was much more structured to two characters. And most recently 5, which comes out in 2 days. And I do like how each character plays differently from each other. Dante is more or less the same from the first game, and Lucia has her own shtick with the blades and throwing daggers. I do like the overall look of the game in terms of, you know, the much more urban environments here and there. And different locales. And some of the demons do look okay. Not as great, in my opinion, as other games, but they're okay. I also really love the soundtrack for Devil May Cry 2. It's surprisingly very good. It's atmospheric. It rocks out well. Like, I would say that that the soundtrack is the one thing that I think outshines the game the most. And I do like the ideas and concepts of the game. Especially, you know, with the whole artificially created demons and such. A trait that would go right into Devil May Cry 4's story. But with Lucia, that's where it was clearly meant to go. And speaking of which, as cool as Dante is in the game, it's really Lucia's story at the end of the day. She's the one that goes through the most plot development. She has a nature versus nurture theme wrapped around her. Created to be a demon, but raised to be otherwise. Bonus cutscene. Dante's shop.
My job is hunting devils. Devils never cry. I know. He did the same thing.
But Sparta did come back.
Indeed he did. History repeats itself. And I don't know if I said it before, but to clarify, yes, Devil May Cry 5 does in fact take place after 2. In fact, originally it was meant they had it established as 2 taking place after 4. But in order to make more sense with the character developments and timeline, they went and switched it around to 2 taking place before 4. So they're acknowledging Devil May Cry 2's place in the series timeline. In a way where it's like, yeah, that game does exist, we made it, but you know what? We're not wiping it away, because we know that because there are some things that people do like, and there's some, while at the same, even if it is a shallow game. And that's pretty much Devil May Cry 2's biggest sin at the end of the day. It's shallow. The combat is not as in-depth as it was in the first game. Hell, God forbid, even the third and fourth game, which would come afterwards. Like, the combo system is practically gone. You don't find any new moves whatsoever. Devil May Cry 1, even though it had very few weapon variety, you know, Ifrit and Alistair, and of course Sparta, at the very least you had new moves you could get with them, and they both played very differently from each other. So at least you knew what weapons you had that were different, and how to have fun with them. And there were times where one weapon was better than the other one for a certain enemy, like, for example, the Frost Demons and the Blades. Frickin' the Ifrit was the best weapon to use against those, while the Alistair was good against generally everything else. Whereas in this game, weapon variety for melee based stuff is practically nil. Like, the only difference you have is like 3 types of blades for each character, but they all function exactly the same. There's nothing different about them other than visuals and slight stat differences, of which they tell you, but it's kind of hard to tell, really. They all feel exactly the same at the end of the day. Really, the only differences the game has in weapon variety is really the ranged weapons. Dante having his pistols, you eventually get submachine guns, the shotgun, and of course a rocket launcher, whereas Lucia just has another version of her throwing daggers, mines, and an automatic bow gun that is only useful for underwater combat. That's it. And you can't unlock any new moves for said weapons except to upgrade their power. So, in terms of gameplay, it is sadly a shallow game in that regard. And the level variety, frankly, doesn't help either. A lot of the levels in Devil May Cry 2 do not have the same level of complexity as the other games, even the first one. Hell, granted, the first one had you going back different areas, back to some of the same areas, but at the very least there were differences, stark differences, that made them practically completely different experiences. A lot of the levels in Devil May Cry 2 are straightforward, with very little thought to them other than just walking forward and back depending on the level. And the puzzles are frankly for simpletons. Like, there's really nothing smart about them, and a lot of them can be solved by just hitting the thing very hard. Lucia's costume change and mission select mode are now available. Oh, she gets a nice snazzy top and jacket. Bloody Palace is now available. Now I'm gonna go to options so that way the game doesn't keep interrupting. And a lot of the bosses, like the enemies themselves, a lot of the enemies and bosses, they're frankly easy on normal mode. I've never played the game on hard mode, but can you blame me? There's really no reason to go back to the game because of how shallow it is. Like, every Devil May Cry game, to some extent, has a reason for going back time and again. Because not just for difficulty's sake, but also because the games were so fun, addictively so, that it made going back to challenge yourself worth it in the long run. With Devil May Cry 3 and 4, well, 3 especially, I found myself going back to that game so many times, trying to up my level because of how satisfying it was, and it goaded me into doing better. There's a reason why one of the songs for Dante has the lyrics, verbatim, "Take me out if you want to fight like a man." That game motivated you to do better. Devil May Cry 4 too, to an extent, even if I don't think it's as fun to go through as 3, but it still has its moments. Even 1, despite everything, has its moments. With 2, the combat is so shallow and one note with no upgrades other than just raising your weapons damage. Hard mode, Bloody Palace mode, doesn't matter mode. It's like you have really, you could pretty much just play the game once, maybe twice, and move on. That's what's sad about it. It could have been so much better. And it doesn't help that some of the bosses are some of the worst I've ever seen in the DMC series. Honestly, 3 of the worst bosses in the series are in this game. The fish, the helicopter, and Tri's Magia, Melchid, Three-Face, whatever his name is. Yeah, they're the 3 worst demon bosses in the entirety of the series, because all you can do for the most part is just either shoot bullets or throw knives at them. That's the only way to take them down. They do not fit as Devil May Cry bosses. They really don't. So it makes me wonder what they were even thinking. Okay, this is much better. No music. There are some decent ones that look cool. Furia Taurus is probably my favorite. And I do like, the last Arius boss fight with Lucia when he goes from demonic Dr. Octopus to giant centipede monster. Like, that was cool. Those are cool. It's just the ones where you can only fight with ranged attacks that frankly suck for all intents and purposes. Like, it makes one wonder why those are even there in the first place. And the story has a lot of interesting concepts and themes, but they're very underutilized by how very, very, very shallowly it's told. Dante, while he's still a smarmy guy in parts. He does, because he doesn't have much dialogue, it makes you wonder. It does admittedly make you question if it's even the same guy, even though it clearly is. Now, in hindsight, with all the games and even the anime series having been made, it does kind of paint a picture of Dante maybe going through a tough time where he's now, hell, in the anime, he's clear, he's like depressed or some shit. Because when you think about it, Dante has done everything he set out to do. He killed Mundus. He, you know, the demon lord responsible for for destroying his family. Like, his goal has been set. He's not even 30 yet, and he already did it. Did what he set out to do. And when you take Devil May Cry 4 and now 2 into account, you know, seeing him, you know, finding other devil hunters or half devils like him, you know, try and solving their problems, taking on a mentor role, I kind of like that. I do. I really do. It's just they don't do enough with it. I frankly, as a character, Dante's not really as prevalent in this as I would like. He's still the same Dante, just one that's a lot more, you know, quiet. And it really isn't until the end of the game where we do get a semblance of normal Dante in there, especially where, you know, he wipes Lucia's tear away and tells her devils never cry and all that. But even though Dante has the majority of the missions in Devil May Cry 2, it's really not his story. Lucia's the character with the actual arc in the whole game. You know, she learns that she was never really a human or a descendant of the Vida Mali clan. Instead, she was an artificial byproduct of Arius's demonic experiments. And you go and I like the concept and of her, you know, coming to grips with her nature, or rather what was her nature, but being her own person, defying Arius and embracing Matiere and Dante's side. Devils never cry. And that even though she was born a demon, she does not have to. She has no reason to succumb to the darkness that Arius says is in her. It's nature versus nurture. That's her theme in this game. Devil May Cry 4 kind of did it too, but it did come from this game first, admittedly. And I like that. It's just a shame that it's not as prevalent as it could have been. And Lucia's campaign is like practically less than half the length. Well, not really less. It's a little over Dante's length in terms of mission variety, in terms of mission and game length. And if Devil May Cry 5 is supposed to be the last of the Sons of Sparta arc of the series, you know, 1 through 4 and 5, I honestly would not mind seeing Lucia come back in a more prevalent role. I would say she's one of the more underutilized, if not the most underutilized devil hunter in the entire series. And I really wouldn't mind to see her come back. They just gotta give her some, well, more guns and weapon variety, personally. Maybe let her hair down a little bit more. She is a sexy looking character, I do admit. And that French accent. Nice tan skin and flaming red hair. Like, they can do so much with this character. And hell, Capcom, and you know what? Capcom and the Devil May Cry team not just acknowledge too, but acknowledge her existence as well. They did like a prequel novel like they did with 4. leading up to the events of 5, and Dante actually does go back to Vida Marley Island and teams up with Lucia again, and it's there where he gets one of his devil arms that he'll be using in 5, Balrog, which we'll get to eventually. And yes, that name is a reference to what you think it is. 2 things actually, Street Fighter and The Lord of the Rings, but more on that later. So yeah, I like the concept and themes. I like the attempt at diversifying the gameplay with different characters. The problem is the gameplay is just overly shallow to the point that it's not fun. Like, it is to some extent. I like trouncing demons and having them, splatter onto the walls. That's amusing. The problem is it gets old after a while, and many of the bosses are either too easy or just don't play like Devil May Cry bosses should. And that's the tragedy of it. It's a huge missed opportunity of a game, and it really isn't until 3 that they redeemed themselves. Itsuno, the guy who's been in charge for the game since 1, ever since Hideki Kamiya left, not counting Ninja Theory's abortion, which we'll never talk about. Even though we will bring it up here and there because I like to wail on that game. Yeah, the kicking a dead horse, but it's a horse that I like to keep kicking, frankly. So, yeah, that sums up my overall thoughts on Devil May Cry 2. I don't hate the game like some fans do, but I don't love it either. It's just mediocre. That's all it is, really. Just a mediocre disappointment following the coattails of the first game. And I do hope to see. I would like to see Lucia again in another game. I think there's more they can do with her, especially if 5 is supposed to be the last of the Dante centric games. Although although I somehow doubt that Dante will be gone in Nero 2. I think they'll bring them back to some extent because this is Devil May Cry we're talking about. Dante has been the face of the franchise for years. I don't think Capcom would be silly enough to let the man in red go too easily. But I am not opposed to seeing more characters get their own limelight as well, especially when they've shown for years that other characters do exist that can be at the League of Dante if they get powerful enough or good enough. So we'll see. So yeah, I like the concept and themes that are shown. I like the multiple characters and how they play. The gun toting is frankly the best it's ever been. I mean, I like the styles for it in 3 and 4, but the guns themselves have never really felt like they had as much oomph to them since. And the soundtrack is magnificent, even if it is placed on a game that is frankly not worthy of it. So yeah, Devil May Cry 2, mediocre, not good, but not terrible either. I've seen worse, frankly. But with all of that said, that's it. We have played through every Devil May Cry game on the road to 5. I've already done 4 with every character. I've done 1, of course, and most recently 3, and now 2. Now, a bit of a disclaimer: you do actually unlock Trish in Devil May Cry 2. However, I don't see myself going back to play the game again, except maybe casually for trophies. So I don't think I'm going to ever play the game again as Trish. especially if there's really to no not much differences involved. However, I will if I have enough downtime. That I made that if downtime permits, if there's enough of it in between games that I have on my shelf that are been waiting to be played for months now, if not years, since well Deus Ex 4. Yeah. Sorry, Adam Jensen. Time permits, I will do another Devil May Cry 3 playthrough for Virgil, since Virgil has two cutscenes at the beginning of the game that are story centric to a small extent, and they're frankly very enjoyable. Not to mention, hey, it's Virgil. Who doesn't love playing with Virgil? So, yeah, that is my. Other than Devil May Cry 5, which will come out on Friday, that's really the. Playing through Virgil on 3 is the only other thing I have. For the left in regards to the series. So I'll get to that in due time when I have a window open for it. As far as the main storylines and all the other games are concerned, including all the bonus character moments in 4, because I did Virgil, I did Lady and Trish in that game. That's pretty much all there is for the most part. So, Devil May Cry 2 completed, Dante and Lucia, and when I come back, we will do more 5. So, yeah, I'm not gonna start streaming anything else as of yet. I mean, yeah, I did say I would do the Resident Evil 2 remake for Survivor and Survivors modes, but frankly, I'm gonna I'll keep those held up for now too. I'm gonna wait till after Devil May Cry 5 to touch on those, because I'd like to have at least one day where I can chill out a bit, take a break, and have energy in preparation for 5. Well, besides energy that I'm gonna have to spend it at work anyway. So that's pretty much the agenda. And once I defeat 5, other than the games I have planned, I don't really have anything else going at the moment. Like Sekiro, that comes out later this month, but I'm gonna wait for a price drop on that one. And let's be honest, From Software has had a knack for releasing expansions to their games for the last 2 years, and Sekiro will likely have one as well. So I'm gonna wait a while for that one. I would like to also play God 3 as well as the first 2 games, but like with Sekiro, I'm gonna wait a while till a price drop, because especially since, well, the wallet is kind of starved right now, and bills have to pay the ever so troublesome bills. So yeah, as far as any new games like straight out of release day are concerned, DMC5 is the only one that I have planned at the moment, and everything else that I have planned will either be stuff I already have on the shelf I haven't started yet, or stuff that I will wait until price drop for them, and when the bills have died down a bit. So anyway, long story short, that is it for Devil May Cry 2. And come Friday, we will start Devil May Cry 5. A long 11 years for that game. We probably would have gotten it had Ninja Theory not gotten in the way, and the fact that was a time when Capcom was just shitting the bed practically every turn. But hopefully they can make up for lost time, and we will have a much more consistent flow of DMC games again, like we did back in the PS2. So that should do it. Thank you all for watching. I'll be back with DMC 5 come Friday. And thank you all for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and comment, and Peace out and have a good night.